nigga, just stop it. Everybody know
I'm a motherfucking monster.
I'ma need to see your
12 songs. 12 stories the world tried to erase. These tracks were too bold, too honest, too real for TV. MTV pulled them off the air. Radio stations refused to play them. But the artists paid the real price. You think these bands were about the music. They were not. They were about fear. Tonight, we uncover the truth behind 12 R&B songs that broke the rules and broke the silence. This is the story they did not want you to hear. Number 12. MC Hammer, Pumps and a Bump.
Give me the girls with the pumps and a bump. That's when I hit another song.
Picture the early 90s. Hammer was on top of the world. He had the biggest pants in music and the biggest smile on TV. Then he made one video that changed everything for him, at least for a moment. This song came out in 1994 from his album, The Funky Headhunter. Hammer wanted to show a new side of himself. A grown man, not a cartoon dancer. But the video showed him poolside in a small zebra print outfit. MTV looked at it and said no. They banned it before most fans ever saw it. Hammer had to go back and shoot a second fully clothed version just to get any airplay at all. Here is a fact that still surprises people. Hammer filmed that video himself, on his own budget, because he wanted total creative control. He believed in it that much. This one gets forgotten today, because Hammer's dance hits from the late 80s overshadow everything else he made. People remember, "You Can't Touch This." They forget he tried to reinvent himself and got shut down for it. That risk cost him more than airplay. It cost him a piece of his reputation at a time he needed the industry on his side. Stay with us, because the next artist did not just get banned, she got a whole new video made, just to survive the censors. Number 11. Sophie B. Hawkins. Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover. This song came out in 1992. It has a smooth, soulful groove, the kind that made people slow down and feel something. It sits right at the edge of pop and blue-eyed soul, and it hit big on the charts that year. But the first music video was too much for MTV. It showed real desire, real longing, with imagery the network called too erotic for daytime rotation. MTV banned that first cut outright. Sophie and her team went back into the edit room and made a second, softer version. That is the version most fans know today. Here is the part people forget. The original banned version barely exists anymore in public view. It became something like a lost artifact, a piece of music history hiding in plain sight. This song is often left off best of lists because people only remember the safe version, not the story behind it. The real story got buried under a smoother edit. That is a quiet kind of erasing, and it happened more than we think. Next up, a song that made America dance and made MTV scared, for one very specific reason.
All right, quick pause in the countdown, because I need to say this from the heart. If these R&B picks are hitting you, if they're bringing back memories, late night vibes, old playlists, and that feeling you can't explain, then please subscribe to
80s R&B playlist.
But because it genuinely helps this channel survive and grow. Every subscribe is like you telling YouTube, yes, this music matters. Keep this kind of content alive. It pushes these forgotten songs back into the light, helps more real R&B lovers find the channel, and lets me keep making deeper, better countdowns for you. So if you want more lists like this, Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and drop a comment with the one R&B song that raised you. Let's bring these classics back together.
Every story you see here takes hours of digging, piecing together history, and bringing forgotten moments back to life. If you'd like to support that work, you can become a channel member. It's just the cost of a cup of coffee, but it helps us keep these stories alive, and for that, we're grateful. Number 10. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back.
Like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Now when a girl walks,
You know this one. Everybody knows this one. It came out in 1992, at a time when almost every image on television told women there was only one right way to look.
in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Wanna pull up tough?
Thin, narrow, small. Sir Mix-a-Lot walked into that world with a song that said the opposite, loud and proud, and the entire industry did not know what to do with him. Let us slow down and really picture this moment.
Cause you notice that butt was stuffed deep in the jeans she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
Mix-a-Lot was based out of Seattle, a city known more for grunge rock than hip-hop at that time. He was already an outsider in the industry, just by where he came from. When he wrote this song, he was not trying to shock anyone for attention. He has said many times in interviews that he grew up watching black women be left out of beauty standards on magazine covers and in movies.
Oh baby, I wanna get with ya and take your picture. My homeboys.
He wanted to write something that celebrated a body type Hollywood kept ignoring. That is the heart of this song. Underneath the humor and the bounce, there is a real message about who gets to be called beautiful. But the video is where things got complicated.
Tried to warn me, but that butt you got makes
Me so horny.
ooh, rumpa smooth skin.
It leaned hard into that message with close-up shots and playful visuals that made network executives deeply uncomfortable. MTV looked at the finished video and said, absolutely not. They banned it outright at first.
You say you wanna get in my bins? Well, use me, cause you ain't that average group.
Then, after negotiation, they agreed to a compromise. The video could air, but only after 9 o'clock at night, once younger viewers were assumed to be asleep. Rolling Stone and several other major outlets covered the ban as real entertainment news, not a small industry footnote.
Groupie, I seen her dancing. To hell with romance and she's sweat.
This was a national conversation about a black artist's body-positive message being treated as something dangerous. Here is a fun fact real fans love telling each other. This song went on to win a Grammy Award.
Wet, got it going like a turbo vet. I'm tired of magazines.
The exact same video that MTV once refused to let daytime audiences see became one of the most requested clips in the network's history once the sun went down. Fans would stay up late just to catch it.
And flat butts all the thing. Take the average black man and ask him that. She gotta pack much back.
That kind of forbidden fruit energy turned a 9 o'clock restriction into free marketing that money simply could not buy. There is something deeper here too, something easy to miss. At the time, very few songs by black artists were allowed to talk about body image directly.
So fellas, does your girlfriend got your butt? Tell her to shake it.
Especially with pride instead of shame. This song cracked that door open. Other artists who came after it, across R&B and hip-hop, found a little more room to talk about real bodies, real curves, real confidence, because Mix-a-Lot took the hit first.
Shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got ballet feet with the open booty.
Some fans forget this one belongs on a controversy list at all because it feels so normal today. It plays at weddings, birthday parties, and car rides without a second thought. But underneath that fun, familiar bounce, there was a real fight. About whose body gets celebrated on television and whose does not. That fight mattered, and it is still being fought in different ways today. Coming up, a hotel room, a feature verse, and a network too nervous to let it play before dark. Number 9. Cassidy, featuring R. Kelly. Hotel. This track dropped in 2004 from Cassidy's debut album Split Personality. Cassidy was a young rapper out of Philadelphia, still building his name, and this song was supposed to be his big crossover moment. It had a smooth, late-night groove.
6 in the morning.
Built for slow dancing and long car rides. The kind of record radio stations loved putting on right before midnight. It became one of the biggest R&B and hip-hop crossover hits of that entire year. And for a young artist, that kind of success can change everything overnight. But to really understand what happened next, you have to understand the environment this song landed in. Just weeks earlier, the Super Bowl halftime show controversy had shaken the entire television industry to its core. Government regulators were watching closely. Advertisers were nervous. Parent groups were writing letters. Every network with any connection to sexual content suddenly felt like it was standing under a spotlight. And MTV was right in the middle of that spotlight, since MTV had actually produced that halftime show. In the weeks that followed, MTV quietly reviewed its entire daytime lineup. They were not just looking at one song. They were looking at everything. Hotel got caught in that sweep. It was pushed to late-night-only rotation.
Then I'ma take a friend. But if mommy is with it, then mommy could get it if.
Alongside several other big songs from that same year, based purely on how suggestive the network felt it was. Here is something many fans do not know, and it matters. This restriction was never really about Hotel as one single song.
Mommy a rider, I'ma slide up inside the mama. I got a suite you could creep on through.
It was about an entire network trying to protect itself from public backlash, all at once. Dozens of songs from dozens of different artists, across R&B, hip-hop, and pop, got swept into that same net in the exact same short window of time.
I know you try and get your freak on too. I do it all for that. Yeah, I ball for that.
Cassidy did not do anything unusual for that era. He simply released his song at the worst possible moment in television history. Think about how that must have felt for a new artist. You finally get your breakout hit.
Keep it fly for that. Keep my eye on that. Hot tub for that.
The one moment you worked years for, and suddenly it gets treated like a problem because of decisions made by executives responding to a completely unrelated event. This one gets left off documentary lists because people assume it was never controversial at all.
Hot love for that. I got love for my
It just sounds like a smooth radio hit now, the kind of song that plays quietly in the background. But at the time, it was part of one of the biggest censorship moments in modern television history.
Come to my hotel, baby, I will leave you my room key. I'm feeling the way.
A moment that changed what an entire generation of viewers could see during daylight hours. Next, a song that made clubs shake and made MTV pull it during the day for the exact same reason. Number 8. Yin Yang Twins, featuring Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Salt Shaker. This is a high-energy, bass-heavy record from 2003, off the album Kings of Crunk. To understand this song, you have to understand the sound that was taking over the South at that time. Crunk music was loud, physical, and built entirely for the dance floor. It was not trying to be smooth or romantic. It was trying to make an entire room move at once. And it worked. If you were in a club anywhere in the country that year, you heard this song, probably more than once a night. The video matched that same raw, physical energy, and that is exactly where the trouble started. The lyrics and the dance moves shown on screen were extremely explicit for television standards at the time. Even compared to other party records from that same era, it was built for a club floor at midnight, not a living room television at 2 in the afternoon. Then came early 2004, and the fallout from the Super Bowl controversy. MTV reviewed its whole daytime schedule from top to bottom, looking for anything that could bring the same kind of backlash they had just lived through. Salt Shaker was one of the videos pulled completely out of daytime rotation. It only aired late at night after that review, if it aired on MTV at all in a full form. Here is a story fans still tell today, and it says a lot about where real power in music actually lives. This song became bigger in clubs than it ever was on television. DJs kept it in constant, heavy rotation long after MTV limited it. The song did not need daytime television approval to survive. It had already found its home on dance floors across the country, and that home never closed its doors. In a way, the restriction proved something powerful. A network can control a screen, but it cannot control a crowd. This one is often forgotten in R&B history conversations because people file it under simple party music, not protest music, not controversy. But it stands as real proof of how one single television moment, one halftime show, one broadcast decision, changed what an entire generation could see during the day, across dozens of songs they never even connected to that original event. Up next, a queen of the genre, and a video that got caught in that same storm, for standing exactly as bold as she always had. Number 7. Lil' Kim, featuring Mr. Cheeks, The Jump Off.
The jump off. I've been going for a minute, now I'm back with the jump off. Goons in the club, cake.
Released in 2003, produced with Timbaland's signature sound, from the album La Bella Mafia. By this point in her career, Lil' Kim was not a new artist testing the waters.
Something jumps off. You back up for the high, but the off. In the graveyard is where you get.
She was a veteran, a founder of a whole style of confident, unapologetic female hip-hop and R&B that barely existed before she arrived. This song was Kim at her sharpest. Bold lyrics, bold fashion, bold attitude, delivered with total control.
All we want to do is party and buy everybody at the bar Bacardi.
It became one of her most respected crossover hits, proof that a decade into her career, she still had something new to say. Like several other songs on this list, The Jump Off got caught in the MTV daytime restrictions of 2004.
Black Barbie dressed in Bulgari. I'm trying to leave in somebody's Ferrari.
The network moved it out of regular rotation because of its sexual content, right alongside major pop and R&B releases from that same era. In the eyes of MTV's programming decisions that year, this song was simply too much for a daytime audience.
Spread love, that's what a real mob do. Keep it gangsta, look out for the people. I'm the wicked.
Here is a detail that says a lot about Lil' Kim as an artist, and it is worth sitting with for a moment. She had already spent nearly a decade pushing boundaries most artists were too afraid to even approach. By the time this restriction happened, her fans almost expected it.
You better keep the peace, or out comes the beast. We the best.
It was not treated as a shock or a scandal within her own fan base. It was treated as proof that she had not softened, proof that success had not made her play it safe. In an industry that often asks women to tone themselves down as they get more famous,
There's room for improvement. Our presence is felt like a Black Panther movement. 7/4 to 8.
Lil' Kim did the opposite, and she paid for that choice in restricted airtime, over and over again across her career. This song sometimes gets left out of controversy documentaries because people focus only on her earlier, more famous hits from the 90s.
The back when I'm sitting on chrome 7 times. That's for my beats. With the Bentley,
But this track matters because it shows the restriction was never a one-time accident. It was part of a much bigger, much longer pattern that followed her through nearly every stage of her career. A pattern built entirely around a woman refusing to shrink herself for anyone's comfort. Next, a Southern hip-hop and R&B hit that got the same treatment, for the same reason, in that very same year. Number 6. Ludacris, Splash Waterfalls.
They want it nice and slow. Kiss them from head to toe. Relax and let.
This song came off the 2003 album Chicken Nimbir. By this point, Ludacris had already built a reputation as one of the most clever wordsmiths in Southern hip-hop. Someone who could turn playful, sensual imagery into genuinely skilled songwriting.
Let it go. Say it. They want it now and fast. Grab it and smack.
Splash Waterfalls leaned all the way into that skill. It had a laid-back, water-themed sound, smooth production, and lyrics that painted vivid, sensual pictures without ever feeling rushed or careless.
You gotta make it last. What? Together, hold.
It became a fan favorite almost instantly, the kind of song people put on repeat during long summer drives. Once again, this is one of the videos named directly in MTV's 2004 Daytime Content Review, the same review that followed the Super Bowl controversy.
In hands, you out there spending grands and making family plans.
The network pushed it to a late-night only slot, saying it had too much sexual content for general daytime audiences. For Ludacris, this was not his first brush with controversy either.
Don't have to straighten facts. Don't want no strings attached. Just scratches on your.
He had already dealt with public criticism over his lyrics from political figures in earlier years, so by 2004, this kind of pushback was becoming a familiar rhythm in his career. Here is something interesting for longtime fans to sit with.
Back what? Exes ain't acting right, and you so glad to.
Ludacris was already known for pushing lyrical boundaries in clever, wordplay-heavy ways, dressing bold ideas in clever rhymes so skillfully that even critics sometimes had to respect the craft, even while objecting to the content.
Fight dinners by candlelight. Say it. She got a.
This restriction became almost a badge of honor among his fan base, proof that he was never going to play it completely safe just to stay comfortable on daytime television. His fans did not see the ban as a setback. They saw it as consistency.
Down to your fingertips, trying that freaky What?
This track tends to get forgotten in controversy conversations because Ludacris has so many bigger, more famous hits filling up the rest of his catalog. But this song was part of a real moment where an entire wave of R&B and hip-hop videos got quietly pulled from daylight hours, all at once.
Turn on some baby face, just for your lady's sake. You call a baby cake.
Reshaping what millions of viewers were allowed to see during a single television season, without most of them ever realizing it happened. Coming up, a group whose entire career was built on pushing past every line television ever tried to draw, until the law itself finally stepped in. Number 5. 2 Live Crew, Me So Horny. Released in 1989, off the album As Nasty As They Wanna Be. To understand how far this controversy went, you need to understand that this was not just a song that got skipped over on television. This was a song that ended up at the center of a real courtroom battle. Florida prosecutors decided this entire album crossed a legal line. They pursued a case trying to have the whole record declared legally obscene. A label that carries serious consequences under American law. Some reports from that time say group members faced real threats of arrest simply for performing this material live on stage, in front of a paying audience who wanted to hear it.
I arrived at a house, knocked on the door, not having no...
Think about that for a moment. Not a fine, not a ban from a television channel, an actual threat of jail time for playing music. MTV would not touch the video at all. It was banned outright, seen as too explicit for any time slot, day or night. No compromise offered.
Idea of what the night had in store. I'm like a dog in heat.
There was no late-night version, no edited cut, no negotiation like some of the other artists on this list received. For MTV, this one simply did not exist. The song became part of a much bigger national conversation that reached far beyond music charts.
Without warning, not having appetite for love. 'Cause me so horny.
It touched free speech. It touched artistic expression. It touched the exact question of where the line sits between art and obscenity, a question courts and lawmakers had been arguing about for generations before hip-hop even existed. Here is a fact that shows how deep this went, and how real the stakes were. The Florida obscenity case actually went to trial in a real courtroom, with real lawyers, real witnesses, and a real judge. In interviews given years later, group members have said they never expected a party song to end up shaping legal history. It became one of the most famous First Amendment music cases in American history, studied in law schools decades after the song stopped playing on the radio. This song rarely makes it onto R&B best-of lists today, because it lives more in legal history now than in music history. But it belongs here, because it proves something important about controversy. Sometimes it is not a network making the decision at all.
Girls always ask me why a buck so much. I say what's wrong, baby.
Sometimes it becomes a fight about the law itself, argued in front of a judge, with an artist's freedom sitting on the line. Next, a pop princess of R&B whose video got yanked down within minutes of going live, on a platform that was supposed to belong entirely to her. Number 4. Rihanna, Pour It Up.
Strip clubs and dollar bills. Still got more money. Patron shots, gonna get a refill.
This track came from the 2012 album Unapologetic, produced by Mike Will Made It. By this point in her career, Rihanna had already spent years transforming from a teenage pop singer into one of the most fearless artists in the industry. This song marked a real turning point in that transformation. It carries a dark, hypnotic strip club sound, slow, heavy, and unapologetic, unlike almost anything else on mainstream radio at that time. Rihanna leaned fully into that concept, and the video matched that energy completely. Without holding anything back. Here is the part that genuinely shocked fans and industry insiders alike. The video was pulled from its own platform just minutes after release, reportedly because of how explicit the content was. Think about how rare that is. This was not a network committee reviewing footage weeks in advance. This was a video going up, reaching audiences in real time, and then being taken down almost immediately, in the middle of the exact moment it was supposed to be introducing itself to the world. It later returned in an edited form, softened just enough to stay online, but the original, unedited cut became something fans still search for and discuss today, almost like a piece of lost art. There is a story around this video that fans still bring up in interviews and discussions today. Rihanna has said publicly that she wanted total honesty in her art, even when that honesty made people deeply uncomfortable. She was not chasing controversy on purpose. The way some artists deliberately provoke reactions for headlines. She was simply refusing to soften herself, her image, or her artistic vision, for anyone's comfort, including the platforms that hosted her own work. This one gets overshadowed today by her bigger radio hits, the ones people hear at every party, every wedding, every road trip. But Pour It Up shows a completely different side of her artistry, one built on raw honesty and vulnerability instead of easy hooks and safe choices. It represents a moment where an artist chose truth over comfort, even knowing the platform itself might reject it. Up next, a song that got banned in 11 different countries, not just pulled from one platform. Number 3. Rihanna, S&M. This single came from the album Loud, released in 2010, produced by Stargate and Sandy V. On the surface, it is a fun, upbeat pop and R&B record, catchy enough to become an instant radio staple. But the video leaned hard into bold, provocative, and highly stylized imagery that pushed way past what most networks and platforms were comfortable airing at the time, even by the standards of an artist who had already built a reputation for boldness. The controversy here went far beyond MTV, and that scale is what makes this entry so significant. Reports say the video was restricted or banned in 11 different countries around the world, a number that is genuinely rare for a mainstream pop song. Online platforms placed strict age restrictions on it as well, treating it more like adult content than a typical music video. It became one of the most talked about music videos of that entire year, discussed on entertainment news, morning shows, and radio call-in segments. For reasons that had nothing to do with the song's catchy chorus. Here is a detail fans love repeating, because it captures her entire attitude in one line. Rihanna responded to all the backlash with total confidence, joking publicly that criticism itself simply excited her more. Turning the exact language of the controversy into her own comeback. She did not apologize. She did not soften the next video. Instead, she turned the entire controversy into part of her artistic brand, using it as fuel rather than treating it as a setback to recover from. There is something worth reflecting on here. Very few artists manage to turn an international ban into a career-defining moment instead of a career-damaging one. Rihanna did exactly that, and it changed how the industry viewed her going forward. Less as a pop singer who might cross a line by accident, and more as an artist who crossed lines fully on purpose, with total control over the reaction that followed. This song is remembered mostly as a fun pop hit today, the kind people sing along to without thinking twice. Most casual fans have no idea it caused an international censorship storm involving 11 separate countries. That gap between the fun memory and the real history is exactly why it belongs on this. Comment below and tell us which one hit you hardest so far. Now, get ready, because the next song did not just get banned. It sparked a national debate about how women are shown in music videos. Number 2, Kanye West, featuring Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Nicki Minaj, Monster. This track came from the 2010 album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, released through Def Jam and Rockefeller Records. By this point, Kanye West was already one of the most ambitious, most watched artists in music.
Gossip, nigga, just stop it. Everybody.
Someone who treated every project like a piece of art meant to challenge the audience, not just entertain them. The song itself is a hip-hop and R&B fusion, dark, cinematic, and genuinely unsettling in places.
You know, I'm a motherfucking monster. I'ma need to see your fucking hands at the concert.
Built to feel more like a horror film than a typical rap track. The video matched that ambition fully, and then went even further, including disturbing imagery that showed deceased women alongside the featured artists throughout the visuals.
Need to see your fucking hands at the concert. Profit, nigga, I get it.
MTV reportedly refused to air the video at all, deciding it crossed too many lines to justify any kind of broadcast, edited or otherwise. But the reaction did not stop there, and this is where the story becomes bigger than just one network's decision.
Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster. I'ma need to see your fucking hands at the concert.
Activist groups launched public petitions, directly asking the record label to pull the clip entirely from release altogether. Their argument was direct and serious. They said the imagery reduced women to props instead of people.
I'ma need to see your fucking hand.
The best living or dead, hands down, huh?
turning real human bodies into set decoration for a song about fame and power. That argument gained real traction, reaching mainstream entertainment news and cultural commentary far beyond typical music coverage.
Let's talk more here right now, huh? And my eyes more red than the devil is.
In interviews, it has been said that Kanye defended the video as dark artistic horror, a deliberate creative choice meant to disturb the viewer on purpose, not to disrespect anyone. Others in the industry pushed back hard, saying that intent does not erase impact.
And I'm about to take it to another level, bitch. None of who you going get, ain't nobody cold as.
That imagery showing violence against women carries real weight in the real world, no matter what the artist meant by it. Both sides of that argument still exist today, and neither side has fully backed down. Here is what makes this story so genuinely complicated. More than almost anything else on this list. Some people say the ban only made the video more famous, pulling in millions of views online once it leaked outside of television entirely, proving once again that restriction often creates curiosity. Others say the real damage was already done the moment the footage existed, that the imagery could not simply be unseen once released into the world, banned by MTV or not. There is no clean, comfortable answer here. And that discomfort is exactly why this entry sits so close to the top of this list. This video is remembered today mostly for its ambition and its incredible cast of major artists, all delivering some of the most quoted verses of that entire year. Fewer people remember the actual public fight it caused, the petitions, the headlines, the real uncomfortable debate about violence against women in visual art. That debate still matters, maybe more now than it did back then. As artists continue testing exactly how far dark imagery can go before it stops being art and starts being harm. You have been waiting for this one, because we teased it at the very start. The most controversial R&B song on this entire list is coming up right now.
All right, quick pause in the countdown, because I need to say this from the heart. If these R&B picks are hitting you, if they're bringing back memories, late night vibes, old playlists, and that feeling you can't explain, then please subscribe to
80s R&B playlist.
But because it genuinely helps this channel survive and grow. Every subscribe is like you telling YouTube, yes, this music matters. Keep this kind of content alive. It pushes these forgotten songs back into the light, helps more real R&B lovers find the channel, and lets me keep making deeper, better countdowns for you. So if you want more lists like this, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and drop a comment with the one R&B song that raised you. Let's bring these classics back together.
Every story you see here takes hours of digging, piecing together history, and bringing forgotten moments back to life. If you'd like to support that work, you can become a channel member. It's just the cost of a cup of coffee, but it helps us keep these stories alive, and for that, we're grateful. Number 1. Nelly, Tip Drill, also known as the EI remix. We told you at the start of this video that one song caused more controversy than any other. This is it. Nelly released this remix video in the early 2000s, tied to his album work around that era. Produced within his faux real entertainment camp under Universal Records. The song itself was a party record, but the video became one of the most talked about visuals in modern music history, for reasons far beyond the music. Here is what happened, as fairly as we can tell it. The video showed women in a party setting, with content many viewers found deeply objectifying. One moment in particular, where Nelly swiped a credit card between a woman's body, became the center of national attention. In interviews, it has been said that Nelly did not expect the level of backlash that followed. Others involved in the video have defended it as simply reflecting the party culture of that time in music. The strongest response came from an unexpected place. Women students at Spelman College, a historically black college known for its focus on empowering black women, organized public pressure against the video. They had planned to invite Nelly to campus for a bone marrow donor awareness event connected to his own sister's illness. Instead, the situation turned into a national conversation about how black women were being portrayed in music videos at that time. Some people say Nelly canceled the campus visit because of the growing tension. Others say the timing was simply unfortunate. Both versions of the story still circulate today. BET eventually pulled the video from its air entirely, following the public pressure. MTV limited it heavily as well. The controversy did not end the song's popularity. In some ways, it made it more famous, more discussed, more remembered than almost any other party record from that entire era. But it also opened up a much bigger, much-needed conversation, one about respect, representation, and responsibility in music videos. Here is the reflection this story leaves us with. A band does not erase a song. Sometimes it does the opposite. It carves the song permanently into cultural memory, for better reasons and for harder reasons, all at once. This one still gets discussed in classrooms and documentaries today, more than 20 years later.